I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Politics are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they ruin everything.
Yeah.
Business politics, real politics, family politics. It all needs to go into the garbage.
Thanks,
so we can
Obama.
focus on what's fun. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trump. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Rene Descartes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Socrates, Aristotle, Plato.
Did you say Socrates?
It's Socrates.
Socrates.
Yeah, isn't it Socrates?
Socrates.
Okay.
I don't care.
Thanks a lot,
Doesn't
Sinclair
matter.
Broadcasting Group.
Thanks a lot, Turner Broadcasting Company.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Just all of them.
Nonsense.
Yeah, thanks,
Sinclair
nonsense.
thing, actually.
What?
Did you hear about the whole Sinclair thing, actually?
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, I won't go too in-depth with it, because it's probably going to be old news by next week. Like, it'll probably be out of the collective conscious, like, pretty soon.
It'll be out of the collective conscious by the time this podcast airs.
Yeah, well,
It'll be out of the conscious by the time we finish talking.
Yeah.
basically. So the general gist of it is, like, it's not uncommon for, like, largely syndicated networks owned by a single media conglomerate to have must-reads or, like, stories that the news anchors are forced to read either at the end or, like, periodically throughout a news broadcast. So Sinclair is, like, one of the larger monopolies, or not even monopoly, but it's going to get there at some point, or at least that's what people are thinking, that basically controls all these local news stations, forces them basically to say, not pro-Trump propaganda necessarily, but it's usually, like, some news with a really conservative swing, so, you know. So I think you're the one, I mean, I know you're the one. You emailed me, or tweeted at me, like, the clip of the 4 different...
I just tweeted it in general because I saw somebody favorite it or something, and I watched it and I was like, wow, that is interesting and kind of scary.
So it's like
So
all these...
I tweeted it and I said, who controls the media?
Sinclair.
Turns out we found out.
Yeah.
Sinclair.
Yeah. But, well, I guess it wasn't too shocking. Like, I sent you the John Oliver thing. John Oliver covered this story, like, over a year ago.
Oh, he did?
Before it was, like, big news, you know?
Oh.
But, so...
Well, I think it was a separate occurrence or something. Like, it wasn't this exact story. It was just
Sinclair.
that same company again,
Yeah.
a year ago.
So, yeah, again, the contents of the tweet that John sent out was, like, it was basically syncing up all these different, like, local broadcasts of news anchors reading the exact same story, like, word for word, the exact same story,
Yeah.
across, like... I lost count pretty early on, but it's a bunch of them. So,
Yeah.
as the general rule, it's basically saying, you know, fake news is bad, and anything that...
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Yeah. Which...
Trust us.
It sort of is, but at the same time, like, you know, I didn't get at the time, actually, that it was having a conservative bias. Like, I don't know.
I just find it funny because it's like all these media outlets that are controlled by one saying, hey there, watch out for fake news. And it's like, oh, okay. Doop, turns it off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, fake news is a real concern. Anyone who's studied mass media in any capacity could tell you that. But again, like my whole, this isn't really even a groundbreaking revelation, but fake news and biased news are not the same thing. Okay? Mm-hmm. Just because a story may go against your personal worldview doesn't mean it's false. That's the difference in a nutshell, and that's what our president can't seem to realize.
Well, you always have to watch out. I think the main idea of fake news is I don't think they explicitly tell lies, but they always tell parts of the truth.
Right.
That'll make it look like something is a certain way when really, when you look at the whole picture, it's really not. It's something different.
It's kind of like clickbait, sort of.
That's why I always say, like, of course, my parents, they still watch news on TV. They still watch New York news, like we're still living there. I say, stop watching TV news. You're not going to get anything interesting. It's, murders at 11, then next up is sports, and yada yada.
Yeah.
And like, so what do you listen to? And I just say, you got to look at a bunch of different things, because everyone's going to tell you a little bit, and you have to, it's like each is a piece of the puzzle you got to put together, and then you can see for yourself what's really going on.